Once upon a time there was a little cloud who wanted to rain. He looked like this. He was small and white and fluffy and cute. And every day he would watch the other clouds and how they would drift across the sky and then let out these giant booming roars as they rained down water on the world below. And he wanted to do that too. But he was too little. You see, when you're a tiny cloud like him, it's hard to make rain. You can't make big booming noises. All you can do is make a tiny pitter-patter sound. And what good is that? No one would even notice if a tiny cloud like him tried to rain. So instead, he would just float around all day sighing sadly to himself. And one day a friendly wind came up to him and asked him why he was so sad. And the little cloud poured out his heart to the wind. He told him how he wanted to rain like the other clouds, but that he was too small and that all he could do was make a tiny pitter-patter sound. And the wind listened patiently, and then when the little cloud was finished, the wind said, "Well, that may be true, but that doesn't mean you can't do anything. You may be too small to water the whole ground, but that doesn't mean you can't water a single flower." And the little cloud looked up at the wind, confused. So the wind took the little cloud by his little cloud arms and brought him over to a big field full of flowers. And the wind said, "See that little flower over there with the bent neck? She's sad because she doesn't have any water. Can you water her?" And the little cloud looked down at the flower and realized that even though he was too small to water the whole field, he could at least water this one little flower. So he bent down his little cloud nose and started to sprinkle her with water, and it made a tiny pitter-patter sound. And at first the flower was scared. She thought maybe a raindrop from a big cloud was gonna come by and totally drench her, but it never did. And then finally she looked up and saw the little cloud with his little cloud arms stretched out trying to water her, and she smiled and she took the raindrops in her mouth, and then she lifted up her face and took in more and more and more, and then she looked up at the little cloud and she said, "Thank you for watering me. I was so thirsty." And the little cloud beamed. It felt good to be able to help someone, even if it was just a tiny flower in a big field. And from that day on, whenever the little cloud saw a flower that needed water, he would bend down his little cloud nose and water it until another cloud came by and took over for him. And even though he was too small to rain on the whole world, he knew that he could always help someone, even if it was just a tiny flower in a big field. The end.